our automation code. Parameterization starts with the parameter tag and parameters annotation. The purpose of a parameter tag is to define the name and value of a parameter. The purpose of a parameter's annotation is to specify how to pass parameters and which parameters to pass to the method. Therefore, in our project, it requires an XML file for the parameter tag and a Java class for the parameters annotation. The application under test will be Selenium Playground from LambdaTest. Let's walk through the test script. First step is to click File Download. Next step would enter data like just a test. Then click the Generate File button. The last step is to click Download. All of the code will be on GitHub. Now we're going to the IDE to create our class. And we do that by right-clicking Demo TestNG, New Java class. The name will be Parameterization Test. Let's add one more file for TestNG by right-clicking the project Tutorials TestNG, New TestNG. The name will be TestNG underscore parameters.xml. In the Java class, we start by controlling the browser with WebDriver. We have to also import the WebDriver. Set up the test with before class. Public void setup is the method name. Let's also do the test part with the test method beginning with the test annotation. Public void test file download. The last part we're going to set up is the teardown method. And for the teardown method, we're going to have the after class annotation, public void teardown is the method name. And we write driver.quit. How about we add some steps? For the setup method, let's write step 1, load the AUT. For the test method, let's write step 2. We're going to click the file download link. Step 3, enter data. Step 4, that's going to click the generate file button. Last but not least, step 5. And that will click the download link. After clicking the download link, we're going to open the file. Now it's time for the XML file. Let's name the suite Parameters Suite. Bingo. We have the option of placing the parameter tag at the suite level or test level. Starting with the suite, let's write parameter. Name is URL. Let's go back to the AUT to get the URL. Copy, then paste in the value between the double quotes. Now we have the URL value. For this tutorial, let's create 3 separate parameterizations. We're going to pretend the values are test results. The test results will be pass, fail, and skip. So we need 3 pairs of test tags. The next test tag, we're going to write the name of, how about pass, parameters test. Next, we're going to just copy these two tags and paste them, and then rename pass to failed. I'm gonna go ahead and make some room at the bottom just in case I need to scroll up or scroll down. I'm going to paste another set of test tags and rename that to skip parameters test tags. Recall the parameter tag can be within the suites or test. We must have a name attribute and a value attribute for the parameter tag. So for the test parameter, we're going to write the name of test result with a value of pass. Within the classes tag, I'm going to have the class tag, and that's where we're going to add the class. But it starts with the package name of demo TestNG followed by the class name. Now that we have the first test complete, I'm going to copy this information and paste it for the next two tests. So far, we have two parameter names. At the suite level, we have the name of URL. At the test level, we have a name of test result. If we add the same parameter name with different values at the suite and test, then the test will override the suite. For example, if URL was also at the test level with a different value, then the automation code will use the value at the test level. The test will override the suite because the test is closer to the class level. That's the main reason why we are going to use different values for suites and tests, because I want to show you both ways. Now, if I decide to place it at the suite level, I'm doing that because all classes need the same value. The test need the same value of URL for pass parameters, fail parameters, and skip parameters. And since they all need the same value of URL, that's why I placed it at the suite level. If they need a unique value, I place it at the test level. So kind of a recap to explain what I just mentioned. If all classes need the same value, like URL, I add the parameter tag at the suite level. If the classes need a unique value, then I use the parameter tag at the test level. The parameter name of test result will have a different value for each test. So when I copy parameter, classes, and class and paste it into the second test, all I do is change pass to failed. And the same process for the third test. When I paste it, I'm going to change it from pass to skip. Okay, so the values for parameters are always string, and we see how they're located within double quotes. Let's add one more parameter at the suite level. So let me go ahead and add another tag parameter and name this task with the value of, how about download file. Now by default, they give us double quotes, but we can add a single quote or double quotes. So let me take this chance to replace double quotes with single quotes to show you it does not matter if it's double or single. That's all we need for parameterization for the TestNG XML file. For the class file, we add the parameters annotation above configuration annotation or below configuration annotation. It's the same for the test annotation. The parameters annotation can be above or below the test annotation. So for the configuration annotation of before class, I'm going to add the parameters annotation above it. For the test annotation, I'm going to add it below, just to demo both ways. The objective is to pass in the URL value from the XML file to the Java class. In the parameters annotation, we need to write the same parameter name from the XML file. So therefore, we see that the name is URL in all caps. In the parameters annotation, I'm going to also write it in all caps. Let me take this back to the top. Now, since the URL value is a string in the XML file, in the class file, we must add it as a string in the method parameters. And notice how the method requires a parameter, but it can be any name. However, I always write the same name with lowercase letters. So we see it in uppercase letters for the annotation. But in the method parameter, I made it lowercase letters. That's a way for me to tell a difference. Parameters in the annotation are different from parameters in the test method. Parameters in the annotation are a list of names to be looked up in the XML file. Parameters in the method receive the values from the XML file. So let's go back to the XML file and you see the name and the value. The annotation has the name. The method parameters has the value. Therefore, one of them gets the parameter name and the other one gets the parameter value from the XML. At this point, we can go ahead and write the Selenium automation code to set up the test. In the method, we write WebDriver manager.ChromeDriver.setup. Now we create an instance by writing driver equals new Chrome driver. Maximize the window with driver.manage.window.maximize. Last step is to load the AUT by writing driver.get. Now we pass in the URL. Bingo. We are now finished setting up the test. If I run this test right now, then we should see 3 separate executions. Let's run. In the run window, we should see pass parameters, fail parameters, and skip parameters. And I made a mistake because we should always execute from the TestNG XML file and not the Java class, because we see how it returned an error. So let me do that one more time and run. Okay, so the run window shows pass parameters test with a green check mark, fail parameters test with a green check mark, and skip parameters test with the green check mark. Let's complete our Selenium code. In the test, we click the file download link. So let me inspect file download. And we see it has a text of file download. So going back to the IDE, I'm going to write driver.findElement by link text, paste in the value with an action of click. That's finished. So let me remove the comment. Next step is to enter data. Go back to the application, click file download, and I'm going to inspect the text area of enter data, and it has an ID value of text box. Copy, go back to the IDE, and now I'm going to write driver.findElements by ID. Then paste in the value, and to enter data, we use a Selenium method of send keys to enter the data. Okay, for the setup method, we passed in one value. For this test method, let's pass in two parameters. And those parameters will be task and test result. Now, going back to the Java class, we're going to pass in the parameters from the XML file. Tasks, let me go back right quick. Task is located at the suite level, and test result is located at the test level. So when it comes to the Java class, we pass in the data with the same concept that we did for the setup method. For the parameters annotation, we write parentheses, the curly brackets, and double quotes. Within the double quotes, we write task. Then we write test result. Then the method parameters. And the method parameters are, no, I see we have an issue. And the issue is because I placed this at the wrong spot, and I apologize. Parameters is where I belong. Now that we have that, at the method parameters, we're going to add string task and string test result. The value for task is download file. So for send keys, we write task. How about the complete statement be download file execution? Then we pass in the second value of pass, fail, or skip. Therefore, we add a plus symbol. And let me skip a line. Execution, colon, space, and test result will be what we pass in as the second value. That's it for parameterization. The remaining automation code is using Selenium in Java to click the file, generate file button, and to click the download file, click the download link. So for the remaining part, let's go ahead and inspect generate file. And it has an ID value of create. I'm going to copy the value, and remember to delete this comment because it's not needed anymore. And to click the generate file button, I'm going to write driver.findElements by ID. Paste in the value to click. The next part we need is to click the download link. So let me go back to the AUT. Enter some data again, just the test. Click the file, generate file button, and now we see the download link. Let me inspect download link, and it has an ID value of link -to download. Copy the value, and for step 5, I'm going to write driver.findElements by ID, paste in the value, Selenium method of click. Now we are ready to see each parameterization after downloading the file. Let's add a sleep statement right quick so we can see the data in the application. So in the turn down method, I'm going to write thread.sleep and pass in 3000, which is 3 seconds. And I'm going to add the exception. Now, let's run. I made a mistake again, and I apologize. I keep running from the Java class when we should run from the XML file. Download file execution pass. Download file execution failed. Download file execution skip. Okay, all 3 files were downloaded. Let's go to Windows Explorer. And here's my download. Okay, so let me open the first file, increase the font, and it shows download file execution pass. Click the second one and increase the font, and it shows download file execution failed. Lambda info 2 shows download file execution skip, like what we expect. To recap, the XML file defines the name and value of a parameter when using the parameters tag. If we add the same parameter name at the suite level and test level, then the test will override the suite. When it comes to the class, the parameters annotation identifies how to pass parameters and which parameters to pass to the method. It's a difference between parameters in the annotation and method. Parameters in the annotation are a list of parameters named from the XML file, and parameters in the method receive the values from the XML file. Next, that session will deal with showing you how to capture a screenshot for test results that failed. And I will see you in the next session. Thank you.